Hey everybody, this is Justin. I am back and I want to start getting into the thing of doing reviews of other people's videos. Not really reviews, but add my commentary, reaction videos, I guess they're called. And so the school year is coming close to an end, and I have been very enthusiastic about what I've learned about working in a German school district. And I have a lot of experience. I worked as a teacher in America. I worked as a librarian. I was a soccer coach for 1 year. And then I worked at an international school. And now I'm currently working at a German public school. And I've noticed so many differences between the three. And I came across, as I love watching videos about Germany and about America, of course, that's why I started making videos. I came across one person doing a video about German schools, and I figured, well, you know what? Let me watch this one, do a reaction video because those are very popular, and react to if I experienced these things versus was I shocked, and I'm gonna address all of those things. So this one is created by DW. Deutsche Welle, and one of my favorite channels, actually one of the ways that I really improved my German was using this website. That's for another video. But yeah, let's do a reaction video based on this one. Let's start watching.
Of school in Germany? For me, this is a Schultüte, a giant homemade or shop-bought cone filled with cool stationery, sweets and other goodies that young kids get on their first day of school in Germany. The German school day traditionally runs
Started out with the Schultüte. My son got a Schultüte. I did not realize the importance of the Schultüte, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this video goes into it, but man, the first day of school in first grade is very, very important. It became an event, something that my wife prepared for months in advance. We prepared more for this than a normal birthday party, anything like this. So the Schultüte once goes inside, and the whole event that goes around it is huge. So it's a great day to start off with this.
The German school day traditionally runs from around 8 a.m. to 1 p.m.
First of all, 8 to 1 p.m. That is a very, very short day. My son is in first grade right now, and he basically has from 8 to 1 o'clock, but he does go to an after school program to 3:30. I think he can do it to 4. But the thing is, it's not available for every student. Parents have to prove, one thing we have to prove that we both worked in the evenings and afternoon, or my son would have had to come home. But because my wife worked full time, because I work full time, my wife works 90%. My son had to stay at school. So that's one advantage of being in America, is having the opportunity. There's an advantage why schools are so much longer in America, right? I think in America, we went from 8 to 3. That was normal school day. The kids learned up to 3 o'clock, and the other activities were thrown in after that. Now, you could even extend it to 5 o'clock. Like a lot of times, after school programs lasted to 5 o'clock, sometimes 6 o'clock, because parents work. I would say in Germany, the parents have decided that at least one parent, normally the mom, was work part-time, if at all, so that she can take care of the children. I've even had a few coworkers that say, why am I having children if I'm not there to take care of them? Or why just throw them to the school? And so I understand that. And I've heard that from multiple German people. In America, we're just used to both parents working. I think now in Germany, it's slowly becoming to where both parents have to work in order to make ends meet. But for the longest of time, it wasn't required for both parents to work. Both parents understood that the importance of the family structure, and maybe having a smaller budget to allow one parent to be able to work part-time or very little, in order to survive and be successful. My wife's friends, I can think of one family who the mom, after the child was born, she just stopped working. I should say she stopped having a job outside of the house. I'm not saying that housework is easy or anything like that, but she stopped working outside of the house so she could take care of the children. My wife's situation, I think her mom worked part-time, but her grandparents were still living, so they would just go to visit the grandparents until the mom got off of work. But in America, I think because of our capitalistic society, everyone wants to make as much money as possible until it was just the rules would just change completely. Now I think in Germany though, it's starting to change a little bit. So you have to really make the decision. Whether you want to be a parent that works full time versus a parent that doesn't. Man, I'm gonna have to break this video up because I'm not even 2 minutes into the video and I'm already discussing this. So let's get started.
Things are changing, and many schools are now offering full days, which might include time for homework or extracurricular activities. This also means more schools are offering warm lunchtime meals in a school canteen.
Yeah,
the reputation for school food isn't great.
My son does not get lunch at school unless he stays to the extended period of time. So for us, lunch is a normal part of the day. But in Germany, they don't. School ends, and then a lot of kids go home and eat if they go home at 1 o'clock. Or if they're part of the after-school program, then they'll be given
And there are
lunch.
restrictions on homework at the weekends. Was magst du an der Schule?
Ich mag, dass sie so groß ist.
Dass Mädchen und Jungs
No
gemischt
homework on the
sind.
weekends. We have the same rule. No homework on the weekends for little kids. Older kids, you get homework.
Wenn man dann halt nicht so gut in der Schule ist, dass man dann halt umsonst Nachhilfe bekommt.
Dass die Lehrer auch sehr, sehr nett sind.
The marking system goes from 1 to 6, with 1 being the best. Although in the last few years of some secondary schools, 15 is the best, essentially a 1+. Which means you could technically end up with a very German 0.67
1 is the
grade
best.
average.
In America, 4 is the best. 4 is the best. I had to convert my thinking. 4 is the best. So 4.0, and now you have a 4 plus because of all the extra advanced classes, but 4 is the best. But in Germany, of course, a 1 is the best. It works in the opposite direction. And 6 is classified as enough.
If you get a 5 in 2 or more subjects, you might have to repeat the year. Wie ist es, ständig Noten zu bekommen?
Das hängt immer von der Note ab.
Ich freue mich auch, wenn ich Noten bekomme.
Gut, weil man dann ja sehen kann, wie gut oder schlecht man ist oder ob man sich noch besser anstrengen sollte.
Andererseits finde ich es auch nicht so gut, wenn es schlechte Noten gibt, dass dann die Kinder direkt traurig sind. Eigentlich ganz gut, weil es so ein Feedback ist.
Manchmal ein bisschen blöd, weil man sich halt jedes Mal anstrengen muss. Ich fände es schön, wenn man sozusagen weiß, an welchen Tagen man sich besonders anstrengen müsste.
The most common foreign languages to learn are English, French and Latin.
I think it's cool
Latin.
that Germany starts to learn a second language at a very young age. My son, who's already speaking English and German, will start learning English in the 3rd grade, formal English languages. It's really cool that they learn a second language. I wish America, at least the entire United States, would learn a second language at an earlier age and make it part of the curriculum. And I even have a theory that it should be regional based, depending on which group. Minority group is the strongest. So I believe in the East Coast, there's a huge Asian community in certain areas. Maybe we should learn one of the Asian languages. Or in the South, Spanish is very popular. But I guess anyway, I think if we would automatically do a second language of Spanish, that'll work out great.
Differences across the country. Municipalities and individual schools also take some decisions. This allows for more freedom, but it also means that a lot of work gets done many times over. So this is roughly what the system looks like. Primary or elementary school is called Grundschule, and in most states that runs from grades 1 to 4. At the secondary level, the traditional model is a 3-tier system. At a Hauptschule, pupils aim to get their Hauptschulabschluss in grade 9 or 10, and then go on to a vocational college and/or an apprenticeship. The middle stream is Realschule, where pupils aim to get their Realschulabschluss in grade 10. They then might do an apprenticeship and vocational training, but for more technical trade.
So she's breaking
or
down
they
the
might
different
go on
types
to
of
the next
schools.
type of school. That's a gymnasium.
I actually think a school system sort of similar to Germany's would benefit a lot of people in America. I mean, could you imagine being able to graduate in 10th grade versus going all the way to the 12th grade, force yourself to get university prep? There's a lot of students that would benefit in the system in Germany.
The more academic route, where pupils take their Abitur exams after the 12th or 13th grade and often go on to university. That's the most popular type of school. Gesamtschulen are comprehensive schools combining the traditional streams and qualifications. They were introduced in the 1960s as an alternative to the 3-tier model, but they weren't universally welcomed. Some states rejected the concept altogether. There has long been criticism of Förderschulen, where pupils with special needs are separated from mainstream schooling, and the majority of them don't end up graduating. But some states have taken huge steps towards inclusion in recent years. You might also hear other names like Oberschule, Mittelschule, Gemeinschaftsschule.
So, yeah, this is a very simple version of how the system is broken down. For example, I work in a secondary Schule. That is the Realschule and the Hauptschule combined. Realschule and Hauptschule combined. These are students that are wanting to get just blue collar jobs. Abitur, the Gymnasium, that's for the people that want to go to university. Those are normally the ones that will get the Gymnasium graduation. Now, Gesamtschule, or entire school with how all three systems, is very typical. The best comparable is the American system, is the Gesamtschule. That's where every student of every kind ends up in the same classes, and it takes us together. Now, there's benefits of having a school system like America where everyone is taught the same way, and you have the best opportunity. But I do know there are a lot of Americans that would have benefited from just going to a different type of school that focused on the skills that they would prefer to have instead of going all the way to the 12th grade. I remember some student, they had a kid in 2nd grade who didn't want to learn how to read. He said from the very beginning he wanted to be a truck driver. His daddy was a truck driver. I think his grandpa had driven trucks too, so he knew he wanted to be a truck driver. And I remember talking to him. I'm saying, dude, you need to learn how to read so you can become whatever. He said, nope. He said, speed limit 45. Green light means go. Red light means stop. What else do I need to know? And you can tell he had practiced saying that over and over. Maybe rhymed and said the green light means go. Whatever do I need to know? Anyway, he had practiced that. He knew what he wanted to say. Now, of course, when he got older, he realized the importance of reading and all the other factors go along with it. But that did point something out to me. He's kind of right. There's some people that already know, man, you know what? My family business or what's very popular in my area is construction, or I want to be a handyman. I want to drive trucks. I want to work on a farm. There's so many people in my area. I want to work in forestry. In my area, the wood cutting industry was very, very popular. Of course, it's shrunk quite a bit in the past 10 years, but it's still a very popular job. And so many people in my school just knew that's what they wanted to do. That's what their family members did. That's what they knew. That's all they knew. And it earned decent amount of money. So like, that's what I want to do. So, but we're forcing them to take all of these classes where they're like, why am I wasting my time? So they didn't care. They brought down the level of learning in those classes, actually. But there's always those few exceptions. I had a cousin who proved that, you know what, he wasn't a big fan of school, but you know what, he turned it on, and he ended up going to university. But regular high school was not his thing. And we focus on the German system, which we'll get deeper into. He kind of would have been screwed if he'd have been practicing the way he was. He'd have been sent to a lower level school, the Hauptschule, probably the lowest level of schools, because he did not put in much effort in the early stages, and he would have been pigeonholed. So I see it both ways, but that's for another video where we actually break down what are the expectations of those different levels.
And this is the simplistic version. Primary school teachers will provide a recommendation for which kind of secondary school each child should go to. In a few states, this recommendation is binding, but in most states, parents have the final say.
Yeah, that's crazy,
There is
right?
also some flexibility.
You go to Grundschule or elementary school to the 4th grade, and then the teachers decide, okay, I think this kid would be great going to a university, so let's send them to this level. I think this kid might be better for going to the second level, second tier school, or the bottom tier school. Now, like I said, these different levels are set up based on the type of skill. So if your student is struggling and would not benefit from going to it, I mean, sometimes we know as parents what our kids are capable of doing. But it kind of sucks though, right? Because that means the first 4 years are going to determine the rest of their life. Now, the Germans will tell you that even if you do go to the lower tier school, you can work your way up. But you know what? I talked to a lot of Germans. They believe in the theory, but when they really think about it, they've known so many people that would go from the top level down to the bottom level, but none of them could ever tell me about someone who's went from the bottom level and went all the way back to the top. No one could even tell me if someone went from the bottom level to the second level. So it's like, yeah, it's possible in theory. There's a lot of things that are possible. That don't mean it's going to happen. So yeah, but just think that you have 4 years. So that's why it's very, very important to get your kids to focus in these 4 years. And then they really start the job prep a lot earlier than Germany. In America, we want kids to be kids as long as possible. But we still we structure. I mean, it's different because even in our kindergartens, though, we start teaching our kids earlier in kindergarten. I'm losing ground, but we start teaching our kids early in kindergarten how to add and subtract, not add and subtract, but learning numbers. But kindergarten here in Germany is more about play. But once school starts, it's like they have 4 years to get it right, and it's crazy.
Homeschooling is illegal in Germany because children are seen to have a right to both a good education and socialization. The PISA report evaluates education systems around the world. The most recent report shows Germany performing above average in reading, maths and science, but seriously underperforming when it comes to equal opportunities for children from different social backgrounds. And another area where Germany performed embarrassingly badly? Digitalization. In the comparison of digital training for teachers, Germany came 76th out of 78
There are some
countries.
schools that are still
The
using
country's
chalkboards.
digital woes were clearly exposed once COVID-19 came along.
I can attest
Not
to
enough
this.
students had access to digital devices. Online learning platforms were inadequate or non-existent. Some schools didn't even have Wi-Fi. Money has been promised to the tune of €5 billion by 2024,
some schools is really
which will go
struggling in
towards
Germany when it
dedicated
comes to that. Yeah, that's true.
IT administrators and an improved stock of computers and tablets. Some schools are already feeling the effects. Even in the analog realm, how well equipped and maintained schools are varies a great deal. Some have modern classrooms, libraries and sports facilities, while others have gross toilets, shabby classrooms and missing equipment. School facilities are paid for by the local municipality, and some of them are simply broke. Federal or regional support often doesn't make it to the schools because of another one of Germany's perennial problems, cumbersome bureaucracy.
I mean,
Was ist nicht so
Americans
gut
or
an der
anybody
Schule?
else from other countries, you probably think bureaucracy sucks. But in Germany, bureaucracy is even slower. And it's very problematic. Now, someone explained it to me, why it's like that. And the thing is that they said it's better to get things right the first time instead of working at a faster pace, doing something, then have to reverse and doing it. And that makes a lot of sense. However, there's other reasons why the German bureaucracy system is slow. The same as the reason why sometimes bureaucracy in America is slow. You just have lazy people and you have corrupt people, terrible people, incompetent people. But for the most part, German system is slower than America. But a lot of times you will see that
Our
when
first
it's
day of
done
school,
right,
so let's
it's
end on our
very
last.
efficient.
Particularly
There's
at
no making it
gymnasium schools, graduation celebrations after the Abitur exams have become a rite of passage. The
up. So next time
Abi-Kleid
with the Abi, the celebration. We do have a senior class trip in America too. We do have a week. No, we don't have a week in America where you just get to do whatever you want, do crazy stuff. It never gets too wild in Germany. And they do have an Abi Ball, which is similar to prom.
which is when pupils take over the school on their last day, planning pranks like covering the school in toilet roll. There's an Abi Ball, a bit like a prom, and an Abi Motto, a motto or pun for the year.
Man,
and to
this
round
video
it
was
all
short
off,
and
there's
sweet,
the
and
Abi
it's
part,
making me
where school
something
leavers
where
go on
I'm
a
going to
trip
start watching
together.
other videos
The more
too.
cheap
Just
and
make me
touristy,
come
the
in
better.
Yeah, I am a big fan of Germany and comparing the two between. There's so much information. Like she gave a really, really simple version, and I'm gonna see if I can find another video where I can go even deeper, and I can really say like, yeah, I agree, yes, I disagree. So look out for next week. I'm going to find another video that I can really make some more comparisons to. With that, this is Justin Banks with a reaction video out.